Welcome back to our investor course. In this video, we're going to cover a high-level roadmap on what to expect when actually buying that investment property.
Here's the exact blueprint or hero's journey of buying an investment property. Number 1, you're going to find an agent. Number 2, get pre-approved. Number 3, start your search in your LAP system with your crystal clear criteria. Number 4, we're going to start writing offers as you narrow down those properties that you want to move forward with. Number 5 is going to be your due diligence period while you're under contract. Number 6, you'll have the appraisal come in place if there's a lender involved. Number 7, closing day. And number 8 will be placing tenants and moving forward with the property manager. And then we start it all over. So when you're finding an agent, at least from my flow, I always advise to book a 30-minute consultation with the agent, especially if you're out of state. You should be asking your agent, do they own an investment property? You should be asking your agent how many transactions they did in the last year. You should be asking them very basic market knowledge. Sometimes, in theory, it could be an awkward call because we're really interviewing each other. I interview all of my clients to make sure that their views are aligned with me and that they're completely ready to head into the market. And if they're not, hey, maybe that's you watching the investor course now based off my recommendation from one of our consultations. In that 30 minutes, you should be able to walk away with kind of your head scrambled, like, whoa, that was super impactful. And I have clear conviction about where I want to head now. Post intro call, I always leave my clients with clear conviction on what their next steps are. I put it all in a nice formatted email that I've spent basically the past 2 years of my life putting together all the important information so that you can end up buying a property with me. The first step on there is going to be to reach out to a local lender. As you're working to get pre-approved, I've already mentioned in the course, I'm going to mention it again multiple times, use a local lender. It's going to make everybody's life easier. As you're working to move towards an offer, just remember that LAP system we talked about and having that crystal clear criteria. You should easily be in a place where you're able to write offers on 10% of those properties that you're analyzing. As you're analyzing properties, I always say just get on a property manager's schedule. A lot of them for their intro calls, they're maybe booked 2-3 weeks out. You want to be able to at least talk to them before you have a property under contract so that you know, like, and trust them before, handing them off an asset that might cost $300,000. Moving forward towards the offers, having an agent that's sharp and knows how to work the purchase agreement for you and in your best interest is going to ultimately end you getting an accepted offer. And then, of course, as you're analyzing all the properties, you're building that strong network. We are going to get to a position where you're pending on a property. And what does that look like? Well, it can be deal specific, right? If you're doing a fix and flip, the process through that, and we'll talk about this later in the course, is going to look different than somebody buying a turnkey rental based on what inspections and due diligence you do. Typically in my market in Indy, it is around an average of 10 days for due diligence. And in that process, we're checking on the health of the property, making sure that there's no majors that we need to go and negotiate. I always like to paint the picture of, like, think of it. If you're buying a $200,000 house, I'm telling you that house is worth $200,000 that you're buying. And if we find 5 to 10 things on an inspection report that needs rehabbed or needs repaired, there's multiple ways we can go about that. Maybe I value it at, those repairs make the property only worth $195 now, and we negotiate the price down. There's different ways to maneuver through that, and we will get into the weeds of that later on in the course, so look forward to it. As you're moving forward through the transaction, when do you put your network in place? When does that contractor walk the property? When do you bring the property manager in? I always recommend asking the property manager to stop by. They have to be licensed to be a property manager, so they are more than welcome to walk through the property at any time through the transaction process, booking a showing on their own. And they can also give you an opinion, right? You can't put all your eggs in my basket. You have to network and build out your team. That's the purpose of your team, having a total of 6 eyes looking at the property to say, yeah, great investment, move forward with it. As you're working through the appraisal process, it's important to have an agent that knows how to redirect the appraiser if maybe that value comes back low. You don't want to cover the gap of that. Sometimes it's impossible and we have to mutual release. That's why an appraisal's there. It is a definite valuation that shows where the property's at today. And if you're overpaying for it, it saves your behind. Get into closing day. Congratulations. That's where all of you are going to be after watching this course. I'm so excited, and shoot us a message whenever you get there. If you directly buy a property from this course, I want to hear about it. Tag us on social media at the closing table and say, hey, thanks Roots Realty for the investor course. Of course, you got to celebrate and get the property manager in there and start enjoying your investment property. Or or the contractor if it's a flip.
All right, guys, so that was just a brief overview on the entire process. Now in the next few videos, we're going to dive deep into the specifics with each of those things.